All right, folks, this is the 2021 TAC Open Tournament with gowellja versus alion02. Gowellja in white, alion02 in black. Uh, gowellja is ranked number 8 overall with 3,500 games played in just about 2 years. He started back in, I think, April of 2019. So not very long to play that many games. For reference, I started playing in 2016. This is my 2,300 games right below him. And if we want to take a look at alion02, he is ranked number 30 with 1,700 rating and only 59 games, as he's only played for, I think, 2 months. So that's crazy. And so they're they're mismatched in terms of experience, but let's see how mismatched they are in terms of skill. I think we're going to see a pretty strong game here. I did play against alion02 earlier in round 1. And joining me, I have Abyss as well in the commentary box.
Hello. Yeah, I think this should be pretty interesting. In terms of rating, it's a bit of a mismatch, but I think gowellja gets a lot of rating by abusing those poor bots, and Alien has a lot of experience in making puzzles and other sorts of things that don't show up on your resume. So it should be a good match.
And I'm seeing that Alion is using my opening technique that I've been starting this tournament. I used very well against him, actually, and I think that he is picking that up. This is that offset. Normally, someone, when playing the mirrored opening that is so often played, people would play over here, but he played up above instead, causing his opponents move this way. Now he took momentum just by playing at a3. And I think that's really interesting that this is a good counter to it. It's very immediate that white drops that flat there. Now I think we could see, okay, we're going to see a flat here. This is where I might expect to see a capstone here or here from white in b3 or c3, or c4, sorry. And we're not seeing that. Instead, we're seeing flats get played.
Yeah, we'll have to see. There's clearly a lot of ways for this kind of opening to branch off, both like in terms of how quickly you address the edge crawl, how directly you address the edge crawl. Like if you play flats, it's less committal. If you play your capstone, you're really saying, I absolutely want to be able to stop this edge crawl, but sometimes it puts you a little out of position for later in the game. So we'll have to see. Still a lot of branching opportunities here.
And I think that the big portion, the big reason why this opening is so effective right now is because it's new. Nobody really has any practice against it. And so they're having to take a lot of extra time and think, wait, hold on, how am I supposed to play against this? I haven't seen this before. And if you're used to playing with that opening, you're going to be a whole lot more confident and you're going to spend less time thinking about your moves. And so we do see this capstone drop at c4 from white, and I think that is an excellent play. I think that this is in a really good spot. If black decides to take b4 and move it over onto a4, I think a wall could come out on a5, ready to threaten that stack on a4. And then you would basically force a capstone to drop on b4 to protect that and stop that flank on differential move. There's a lot of ways this could work out, but I think that, ooh, that is intriguing. Now I might be, yeah, I would say c2. That was my first thought, would be to just switch gears, go for that vertical threat. And now I would probably play up at a5 to protect this a4 flat and keep it from being threatened for attack threat on the next couple turns. If not,
I don't I don't think white needs to address this because b3 over is always a move. Now that black has committed their capstone miles away,
that's
and
true. And
white's
also a4
capstone,
minus is still a move, but he is playing that a5 spot. Timerot in the stream chat saying that he thinks that the d3 d4 opening, meaning this this sort of offset opening for black is he's calling it the Simon in his head.
Well,
I don't
it's
want to
not.
call it the Simon.
No, wait. I mean, obviously it's a joke, but the I do want to clarify. Is your innovation? I mean, it's not just the D3 D4 part of it. It's the like
It's the edge
weird.
crawl.
Yeah, it's the weird A3.
Okay, so this is attack threat from alion02. Now this is interesting because this is almost the same position that we saw yesterday, or that I saw yesterday, in the Arch Venison versus Time Rot game, where Time Rot basically had this exact same position, and Arch Venison missed the attack threat, didn't see the capstone throw, and the game ended on turn 11. And so this one, we're seeing that gowellja did spot that attack threat and did decide to make the B3 plus move to counter that. But yeah, I wouldn't call it the Simon because if it ends up being really terrible, I would not like my name attached to it.
Yeah.
All right, here we go with filling in at B3, and I like that move. I don't think white has anything to worry about B4 being taken because he's got that capstone right next to it. I think what we might want to see from white is playing up at A6 and making that attack threat and forcing a move from black. I like the A6 move a lot better than anything below, like at B1 or C2, just because you got more options down there. And so you'd be forcing a capture if you played up at A6. And forcing a capture is often a really great way to do things.
I'm not sure that the exchanging A6 for moving D3 over is that useful, but I mean, I'm sure it's not too bad, but I think the capstone is going to end up having to take on C3 regardless, so I don't know if A6 is the most trying way to get that to happen, but we see it nonetheless.
Now this is where you might see C4 left, but I don't think so. Black now has momentum, and white's going to have to do something about that. I could see maybe a B1 placement, and then counting on the B2 plus to cut off that horizontal threat and start their own vertical threat yet again. And so I think a B1 placement might be good here because black is now has a really good handle on a horizontal line and also on a vertical line at the same time. By playing at D3 on the next turn, he's able to connect going in the vertical direction and the horizontal direction, both being able to finish a road in 2 turns. And so I don't know. I think black's in a pretty solid position here. I would say black has an advantage.
Yeah, I think white has to be very careful. At the moment, things are probably still okay, but things could spiral out of control very fast. That's why I didn't like A6, because now if you can't get a vertical threat, then A6 is kind of a waste of time.
You got a
And
good
that
point.
one waste of tempo is pretty bad. So he's trying to justify A6, which I think makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he will take on B4, like you said.
Or if not taking on B4, do the B2 plus move. But I think taking on B4 with the capstone would probably be a better move than that.
Mm-hmm.
Because he'd basically have to do it anyway. If the capstone came over onto B3 from C3, the black capstone that is, then white would basically be forced to move C4 to B4 anyway, just to protect that stack, keep him from liberating the captives and making another road threat.
Yes.
So yeah, I'd say C4 left is probably the good move here for white. But what is black going to do? Is black going to start playing off here at like D3, like I was talking about before? Or is he going to do something else to sort of mitigate whatever white is going to be doing on the next turn? Oh, I think...
Doesn't.
Ooh, I like the idea of C5 for black.
Just pinning.
Yeah, because then white's capstone can't go to B4.
But then you've sort of given white another free move. I think white's capstone coming to B4 is not a big problem.
I don't know.
Can't you just move your own capstone to the left?
Yeah, but I feel like going c5 keeps that capstone where it is. And also, if white wants to go b2 plus, then you just move your capstone over onto b3, and suddenly you've renewed that tack threat again. And then you can continue to play out at d5 and go along for that vertical threat again, going down this time on the d line. So I don't know. I feel like c5 is a really strong move here for black.
Well, I did miss one point of in the capstone left line. Because after both capstones go left, then c5 is sort of annoying to, or sorry, c3 for white is sort of annoying to answer.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe maybe c5 was good there too.
But he goes for the c1 instead, dropping a wall.
It's a pretty sad wall.
Yeah, I don't like it. I understand why you wanted to play it, but I don't think it was a good spot. Um, I don't like playing walls if they can't capture a stack on the next turn or the turn after that. Um, I feel like it's hard to justify the flat count differential.
I mean, you just have to. It doesn't necessarily have to have a stack that you can immediately capture, but it has to have some promise in the future. So like immediately you take on B1, you have to see that C1 goes up. And now I guess you can play move the B1 wall up, but it's a little dangerous because you can get crushed in some lines.
Yeah, and I mean, can't crush it immediately because he would lose to a road if that were the case. But yeah, moving it up to b2 is probably his best bet right now. I mean, he can capture onto a5 with b5. But yeah, like I said, I think that in that wall, I don't think that was a good play. I think that was a bit of a misplay on Alion's part. I think the c5 would have been a really strong move, um, but I really didn't like that wall. But there were a couple other options he had. But now I think that moving that wall might be the best play. But b5 left is looking more nice to me. Um, but moving the wall upwards doesn't allow the capstone to be able to smash
Why not?
because it would result in. Oh no, it wouldn't. It wouldn't result in a road. Never mind. I thought that black's capstone would be able to finish it, but leaving that open on b4 would be fine. So yeah, he totally can smash. I was mistaken.
Well, you end up trading the B2 stack for the B3 stack. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
that it's good for white, but it's obviously possible.
Yeah.
Thing is, though, so you leave that behind. So say you crush the B2 wall, you're gonna have 1, 2, 3 on that square, and then if he takes with the cap, it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the um
Mm.
the cap there is gonna be kind of fat, you know?
Yeah, and now he's switching gears going for the horizontal. So if he can connect over here at E1, when he does smash, he'll be able to make a threat in two directions.
Yeah, I think well, Elion can obviously make a tag threat, but I guess white just plans to move the cap stack down to B3 to mitigate that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say this is looking way better for white than it is for black right now. And black is making that tag threat. What will he do?
I
I
mean,
don't
now
think
if you
I don't think
crush,
white
it's
wants to
immediately attacked.
smash it yet. He was waiting one more turn to do that, and black sort of initiating things and making the tag threat really threw a wrench into that.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible sometimes, though, to get too stuck on trying to make a Tinue that
That
you
is true.
miss the forest for the trees.
I mean, you you definitely would be the one to know about that since you never go for tenues, you always go for flats.
You should you shouldn't say never, but
You very rarely go for tenue. And I very rarely go for flats. But right now, let's see, two, oh, he does move it down like you were saying. 2, 4, 6, 7 to 2, 4, 6, 7. So 9 flats for black, 7 flats for white. Black is in the lead in terms of flat count, but I would still say this is very much white's game to lose right now. Though still quite early, as it's only turn 16. They got plenty of reserves left, but I feel like white is very much in control.
yeah, the question for black is how much do you invest to try to make sure that you don't die to a road? Because you can obviously do something like Wally 1.
Mm-hmm. Or you can move
Uh,
B2 to the right.
Move B2 to the right. Um, I suppose you could.
Like if he really wants to keep this stack out of white's hands, he can move B2 to the right, and then white's basically forced to play more flats down here, but black will always have the vertical option of just taking B5 left and cutting it off.
I think moving the B2 to the left is pretty bad.
B2 right or B2 left?
Left.
On to A2?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think that's bad. B2 right
Oh,
is what I
sorry.
was
You
saying.
you said right.
Yeah.
Oh, I understand now.
Yeah, I
Um,
think moving it left would be terrible.
Directions are hard
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah, that's what my 5-year-old says. But no, I think that playing at B4 is a pretty safe play, but because now White's capstone won't smash unless it's for a road, because then it'll lose.
Yeah, I'm very happy with that move because now it's hard for white to smash, as you said, it's pinned, and it's also they can't fill an A3 or B4.
Mm-hmm. And
So
then
it's actually
black can focus
hard.
on building out horizontally, playing at E4 or at F4, and start going for that horizontal line and bringing A3 up eventually.
I think white has some problems they have to deal with here. So yeah, E1's a natural move.
Yeah,
So the
I think what we're expecting white to do very soon is take A4 minus.
yes.
And he's gonna do A4 minus, force the A2 plus, and then white's able to smash on B2.
If you're alien, do you play B4 left?
I think that's, yeah, I would say that's the move to play.
And the problem is, I guess white can just take back with A5, And then you don't really want to play a3 plus because then
white plays at a3.
yeah.
Or smashes.
Okay, so we're expecting a4 minus, so what's the best anticipation of that? I guess the best anticipation is just a wall again on b1 or something.
Or b5 left.
Yeah, you could throw your flats at him too, I guess.
Because if you do b5 left and then white smashes because it's no longer pinned, then you just move your capstone from c3 to c2 and it cuts off the horizontal threat. I mean, it can be quickly renewed with b1, but then you move it down again to c1. I mean, it's not great, but it will keep you from getting tenuade.
Yeah.
And black is probably seeing through all this because, as we said before, alion02 is a new member of the community, but building lots of really amazing tenuade puzzles. And as someone who looks for tenuade puzzles all the time, I'm sure he also looks for ways out of them. Does decide to drop a wall there on e1. Very defensive move. I'd say that was probably a good play.
I'm not sure about exactly e2 though. It's one of those moves that makes you think, why not d2 or f2 or b1?
I
But
think
maybe
d2
that's what he was
would have
thinking
been
about.
great. But it would put two walls and his capstone very close together, and that's dangerous.
Yeah.
But no,
That's
right here, I would like white can't smash the wall at b2 because it would make him lose. But I might still. No, a4 minus, I probably wouldn't still do that. Maybe I'd do a4 minus. Force
a4
that
minus is
wall.
still very forcing. If he plays e2 minus in response, then you get to play a4 yourself.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
it's sort of an improvement.
Oh, white working on that flat count, I guess.
He's trying to anticipate e2 minus.
Yeah, probably going to want to play at d2 next, and black saw that and played there first.
It's kind of a bad exchange for white.
Yeah, I don't think the f2 play was good for white. I think a b1 actually would have been way better than f2 for white.
Oh, b1 can be nasty because when a4 minus comes, it's attack on a1.
Mm-hmm. Now we get the a4 minus. This frees up white to smash the wall on b2. Unless black plays at a4, which they can't because it's attack threat. So if black does decide to use the wall on e2 to go down, you'll likely see the smash. I think here 2b2 right actually isn't bad. 2b2 right is probably the play here.
Maybe. I don't like stuffing my wall in the face of my own capstone.
I'm with you on that too, man.
I mean, you might just have to, but I mean, there's other moves. There's e2 minus, there's d2 minus, there's d2 left. There's the kind of sad capstone minus.
What's he gonna do? He set up the e2 ready to do that, but he knows that that's probably not the best of plays. Ooh, he does the d2 left, like you were saying.
Well, in my, I listed just about every move that makes any sense, so it's not stunning that he,
he used one of those.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's okay.
If
White
I
can
were white, I
smash.
would smash here.
I don't know that it's good, because you give up b3, because it's not tack anymore.
Yeah, if so so if you give up b3 and let's say he takes b3 with c3, right? And you
Yep,
do a3 minus to a3 minus. Now you've renewed the
a1
tack threat,
plus.
and then we get a1 plus. I don't know. I still feel like that's a decent exchange for white.
It might be the best that white can do. I don't love it though.
Yeah.
I don't look at it and go, wow. I look at it and go, But I mean, okay, so like what else makes sense for white? If you play a4, then b1 for black comes and you're pretty sad.
Yeah. And I think that's why he went with the wall at d2 so he can capture onto c2.
That's
I don't like that play.
yeah.
Because it messes up your plays when you smash b2 later on. You won't be able to spread out as far to the right. You won't be able to smash your own wall and still make the threat. So you're forced to only go down to b1. Now we have the threat from black.
Interestingly, when he takes, now a4 prevents a crush, yeah, on
Mm-hmm.
b2.
Yeah, I'd say there was a couple misplays from white there, and black made some good plays.
So does white just move the single, like play something like 2c2 right, just to renew a threat?
Yeah, and that's not bad. But then you'll probably see the b2 stack move right again.
The, we never saw that before.
Yeah, it'll never move right. Not again, but it'll move right. As I said before.
You trying to what's the word? I forgot the word.
Gaslighting you. Telling you it
Yeah,
happened
like
when it didn't.
what's the word? Like you hypnotize, like it's like hypnosis, but there's like a gaslight. There we go.
The word I just said, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't hear you. I was too busy
Oh.
thinking about the word that you were saying. Anyway,
All right, now we see e4 come out to block the horizontal threat that black was threatening. There's a lot of action on that left side of the board, and there's basically nothing going on over here.
a lot of times in these games, the winner is decided by who successfully handles the switch to the open board.
Yeah. That's where I think white is trying. I think if I like white being able to go up here, like onto f3 and then f4, and kind of go for that vertical threat on that open half of the board, and it looks like that's what they're going for. But I think black wants to play down at like d2 and then capture with b1 and make that threat over onto d1. That might be something they're interested in doing.
Hard to ever achieve that with the wall on c2 though.
Yeah. I think playing up there at f3 is the good move here. I liked that. It cuts off black's immediate threats and or not immediate but soon threats, I guess, and then starts building towards their own threat. I like it. And it draws focus away from what's going on the left side of the board. So white might be able to pull something off sneaky um, if they get a lot of focus away from that later.
It's tricky for white to fight this, though.
Yeah, because if they play here at e3, then black plays at e5, and then what do you do as white? You move over to f4? Well, then black just plays at f5.
It's like, plus black already has a wall ready
Yep.
for if there's some sort of stack war.
It makes things tricky for white. But I still like it. They're getting flats on the board. They're making some sort of progress. But black is ahead on flats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 13 to 10 in terms of flat count. White can make that 13 to 11 by placing on this next turn, but it's not too great for him. They do have 1+3 flat count differential move at their at the ready that they can make, and so that can turn the flat count in their favor, and so that's nice. And then black doesn't have any positive flat count differential moves at the ready.
We're gonna see e3, e4 over.
You
And
think?
then, yeah, then e2 over. I mean, I guess you could play e5 too, but it's the same thing basically.
I think e5 I like a little bit better than e4, despite, yeah, I still like it better. So e3 has attack threat in two ways. e5 only has it in one way, but I still like the end result more, I think. Oh, that was surprising.
Interesting.
Yes, very interesting.
Now, there's no threat of, because obviously white can run over to f4 and get a hard cap, but it doesn't really work because of the e2 wall. The e2 wall is really paying its rent now.
Yeah, it is. So, yeah, that's an interesting play from white, and I like it for a couple of reasons. So, let's take a look at a couple of those. One of those is now white, if they ever do anything with this c2 wall, move it over and leave that white flat there, they've got a little harder to spot tack threat from that capstone throw. If black decides to take e5 minus and kind of cover up that flat potential, white can then play up at f6 and make their threat with this giant stack. Black coming down with a4 minus is not a tack threat in any way. f6 is. And I like f6 because it basically forces the e5 right. Yeah, there's a couple things I like going on here for white, but also black is making some fun moves. I think this is at a really interesting point in the game. And I think
Wait, force is e5 right. I was
well,
thinking.
not e5 right, sorry, e2 right is also another good option. So he
Also
does do that.
Oh wait, no, e5 minus doesn't work.
If he
I mean, you
does
could just
e5
wall it
minus
right
here,
away.
then it's a win for white, and that's
Yeah,
maybe what white's counting on, that he'll miss it. Because of the big cap stack throw. And it's very possible that he misses this. They both only have, 4.5 minutes on the clock. And I know you're comfortable playing with 15 seconds on your clock, but not everybody else is.
Might just be time to cash in on the E2 wall. Move it to the right.
Yeah, I think that would be the play here for black. F4 minus isn't too bad either. Oh, he goes for F4 plus instead. Okay. I can see that also.
Technically, white can run his whole stack over to F4, but it's not. It doesn't work because of the E2 wall, but
Yeah.
it doesn't. Oh wait, it does lose on the spot because you leave 2 blacks on C4.
Yep.
Counting is also hard. Does your 5-year-old say that too?
Yep. Actually, she's pretty good with that. But
Yeah, I was gonna say counting is more. That's more naturally human.
all right, and then the wall comes out on A4. I kind of like that. He really wants to recapture that A3. Doesn't want to let that A3 be the anchor point for a horizontal road for black. And I think that's a solid position. It also helps him make, in the future, a +3 flat count differential move by spreading that stack downward if he wants to go for that.
Ooh, interesting though. If black plays C5 and white moves the stack down, he can throw. He can crush the A3.
Yeah.
And it's Tinue actually, or no, not Tinue, but it's a threat in 2 different directions, so it's sort of annoying to block.
Goes for the
Or is it
D5.
Tinue?
This is now attack threat for black.
Yeah, see, and now A4 minus, you get crushed, literally and figuratively.
Yeah, and then that would be devastating to the point of, yes, it would be Tinue, wouldn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
But again, we've already confirmed that I'm not good at these.
Yes, it would be Tinue. If white brings this wall down, black smashes and it's Tinue. Because black can spread right or can spread up, and the anchor, the one stone that is the sort of bridge between both of those, cornerstone, is A3. And there's no way to capture that capstone on A3 to stop it. So yeah, that would be... So white's got to figure out something else to stop that threat. Maybe an F6 minus. Oh, just drop another wall. That's another way to do it.
Yeah, it makes your A4 wall look kind of dumb though. So
Yeah,
black has definitely achieved something here.
yeah. But the A4 wall helped keep the black stack, I guess, from spreading upwards and making a positive flat count differential move. So I can see why he went A4 instead of B3. But at the same time, yeah, I see that. That's pretty solid.
Yeah, I'm not saying that when he played A4 that I immediately saw it was bad. I'm just
Yeah.
comparing the fact that you had to wall again
Mm-hmm.
indicates that it was probably a problem.
I'm liking it. I'm liking the play here from black, though. This is showing some really strong play. Spotting that ability to create a Tinue, and also for white, being able to spot that bringing the capstone down would be Tinue, also really, really awesome. It's good play from these guys.
Yep. I think I mean black is not out of the woods yet because he's still got to be a little concerned about this thing growing on the right side of the board.
Yeah.
But it should be what's his current lead? 3, 6, 9, 12, 3, 6, 9, 10, and the move. Yeah. You should be liking black here, I think, but it's not obvious. To hear you play a4.
Yeah, a4 minus here. I think a4 doesn't look too bad for me for black. Going for it, making that threat.
It's a move you sort of don't like to make because you see it can get taken like by 2 different stacks, but
Mm-hmm. But it puts
it's
pressure
not.
on white and it helps your flat count at the same time. I'd say black is pretty in control of this game at the moment.
Yeah, see, that was a concession.
Mm-hmm. Because he wanted to make a better flat count differential move, but he wasn't able to. He was only able to make a +2 instead of a +3.
Yes. The bad thing for black is he's not as ahead on reserves as you might expect here.
Yeah. And so while black is ahead on flat count, I think the reserves are even.
Yeah, this could go down to the wire.
Which is fun and exciting, and I love that. Black now playing at D2, and so he's going to want to make that capture with B1 maybe. Ooh, and that's where that comes in, but white has that wall there at B3 stopping him from making the smash in the road. Ooh, that's gotta be painful. Gotta be painful. So I think Time Rot talking in the chat here, smashing his own wall at B3 isn't that bad of a play here for white.
Smashing his own wall at B3.
It would retain the hard capstone, make that threat.
It's definitely a cute move. I don't think it works though.
Yeah.
I think if you're black, you just move B2 to the right and say, okay, dude, what's next?
Yeah.
So black is actually ahead by 1, even
On
after giving
reserves.
up D2. Yeah.
Ooh,
Or
that's an
not in
interesting.
reserves, on the current flat count position. Which means he should have tried to flat here.
Yeah.
I guess he's saying he wants to play C3, but then B3 over, and now you're potentially getting crushed on B2. Oh, that may be wrong.
I don't know about this play from white, but it definitely does throw a wrench in black's plans. Wasn't expecting that, that's for sure.
If you're black, you have to frantically place
Yeah.
pieces now.
Place your flats, black. Place your flats.
I might play it F4
So yeah,
to
he's
defend
it's
F5.
13 to 11 right now in terms of flat count. And white has a +2 move available to him.
Huh. Black can actually crush B2 now and make attack threat. It's not good, but you can do it.
Yeah, and it wouldn't result in anything bad for him in terms of like that C2 stack spreading or anything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely is a road threat.
It's a terrible move, but
Yeah.
when you have 50 seconds, sometimes
Oh yeah, I didn't even
if you
notice his
can't.
time was under a minute. Yeah, gowellja definitely has him on time.
Okay, this is bad because now you're losing the F5 stack. But I guess you have to play E2. Or sorry, E3.
Yeah, maybe. Could play at E5.
I don't think black can calculate quite fast enough. Yeah, that's not a good move.
I don't know about that one.
Takes wall e5.
Yeah. So it's going to be e5 right, then white walls on e5. No. Oh, he's given up a huge positive flat count differential move right here. Now it's looking like white's going to take this one. I think black misplayed at the very end here in terms of flat count moves, and he's paying for it. E3 gets played. I'm really confused about that one. I guess white's trying to run down their flats before they make the move.
Yes.
And then probably on the next turn they'll play at f6 because that's attack threat, but it also helps protect that f5 stack. Okay, now we get the wall to come out. Now we'll see the +3 FCD move.
Yeah.
Oh, only
that's
a plus.
not the way to do it, though.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, I wouldn't have done that. But for those interested and unfamiliar when I say positive flat count differential move or plus FCD move, that is covered in the FCD or flat count differential video in TAC University. alion02 down to 2 seconds left on the clock. Play, 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 and he loses on time. That is heartbreaking to see, though it did look very firmly in white's control. But it did come down to time, unfortunately. Let's take a look at the flat count at the end here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 12. To 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 to 12 in terms of flats. Black had fewer reserves. White did have a positive FCD move available to them. I'd say that it was likely that white was going to win this game if time didn't play a factor, but obviously time did play a factor in it. But that was a super fun game to watch. That was a good one to spectate and commentate on. That was a fun one. I'm sure alion02 is kicking himself right now for having lost on time.
This is a position where you can't feel too bad losing as black, but this is where experience or a slight difference in skill will really be reflected in these scrambling end games. Alien probably just hasn't played enough of these.
Oh, so alion02 is saying what happened, and then I told him he ran out of time. And he said I didn't. I got disconnected.
Well, I guess if you get disconnected, you lose on time.
Yeah, your time continues running when you're disconnected. So he was unaware of that, I guess.
Well, I mean, he must have known he was on 20 seconds or 10 seconds or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he was disconnected and didn't know about it.
I guess, but he only had 20 seconds to begin with.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I get that he has a right to be salty.
Yeah, he's upset, but yeah, that happens. No, and gowellja being nice, saying he supports him in bringing this to the tournament adjudicators if he wishes. So, I think that's nice.
Oh, there's nothing to adjudicate.
Yeah,
White
not really.
was winning. He was being outplayed. Black ran out of time.
I mean, they were even in terms of flats, and white did make that misplay at the end with the f5 stack instead of doing a +3 move, made a +2 move. So, I mean, black was running out sooner, but yeah, it was like, I'd say at least 80% that white would have won that one based on their previous play.
Come on, Alien. Really? You're going to fight this? Come on, dude. You get disconnected with 1 second on the clock. You can't say, oh, shit, I was disconnected. I got scammed. Like.
All right, so he is ready, though, to play game 2. All right, and game 2 has begun with opposite corners this time, which is interesting and unusual. And now I'm joined in the commentator box by not only Abyss, but also
I just
UnSweet.
came on and saw this saw this thing. So they're saying that they DC'd, but they didn't pop up on the thing.
Yeah, Alion's saying he DC'd, but nobody else saw it DC.
But yeah, so
even
there was some controversy about the first game. alion02 saying that he disconnected, but no one else saw it, and some things leading to his loss on timeout. But yeah, that'll be figured out later. However, right now we've got, like I said, UnSweet and Abyss in the commentator box, and so yeah, it's just a big party in here.
Yeah, I just to say one last thing about the controversy. I don't understand how it matters. Like, it's unfortunate that you DC, but like, if I pull my router out of the wall, I can't like get a rematch. You know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, so this game. Got an early capstone from black. White's kind of going for a thick line, and black has a narrow line.
I like the thick line from white a lot, to be honest, because that citadel gives a lot of power, and then that capstone dropping on D3 is able to come over onto C3 and ruin black's line, and also able to still maintain that vertical line that's basically untouched right now of white.
They kind of got the best of both worlds right there, actually, with that cap, and then also having so much capital on that side.
For sure.
Yeah, right now, gowellja's little stick line doesn't scare me at the moment.
Oh, and now we get the self-capture coming in. Now you see some danger for white's line. Now white might want to drop something on D3 and start going for more of a horizontal connection, now that he knows that black is going to ruin that vertical line.
I think
you have to, or you end up getting walled off, and you've got nothing to show for it. I think you've just got to continue D3.
yeah, either that or B3. I mean, B3 allows the wall, you're right, but I don't know that white is that unhappy about getting walled there.
All right. Sorry, I was pricking my fingers for diabetes tests, for blood sugar tests, so I was preoccupied. Hooray. Okay, so we got F4 dropping, and okay, I see what he's doing here. I don't like the E2 play that much because it's focusing so much on this vertical line that is just destined to be destroyed. But the F4 drop is interesting because it's like black wants to use that to help his horizontal line. Now this is where I think it's interesting. Now that E1 has been played, this is attack threat. I think F4 coming left is actually not bad at all, because if D4 comes left and captures, then he's got a much stronger capstone he's able to bring down. But that wasn't the case. He decided to throw the capstone over already. Now white's finally splitting off for that horizontal line. I think they should have done it a little bit earlier, but, you know, do what you can.
Well, the problem with this position is that the weakness on D4 is going to be terminal for black.
Yeah, it's going to be really rough.
Like, currently white could attack it and black can't even take back if there's a wall on D4 because of the pin.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Certainly makes things difficult. All right, now black going, and black does have momentum here. So is able to just keep placing. Now, I wonder what black would do if white were to move 2c3 plus and threaten that stack. Oh, there's I see what they're doing. They're setting it up so that they can move that capstone up on the next turn, and black won't be able to capture over and protect it on d4 because they will have their capstone pinned.
Yeah,
I like white's position a lot here.
I think white should have just immediately walled and gone to control d4. Because I think it's more valuable to have it as a wall than to get your capstone there. But we'll see.
Well, either that or they just continue along their own line, knowing that they can always hop up onto 4 because black's got nothing else going. So, like, I get it. You're giving kind of an absolute pin here, but it was already pretty relatively pinned anyway because black's never going to get anything going, even if you choose to kind of move up. So I don't know.
That's true. Okay, so black is playing pretty defensively here, dropping that wall. This is where I think we might see f3 played from white to kind of solidify that horizontal line. Maybe they'll just... Oh, no, they won't do that. Okay, they're going to go for the c3 plus move. Then that stack just moves away, which I think is just comical.
But it's really like the only thing that they could do,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
Because it was the right play by white to go for it because you know that they can't both unpin and move the wall across in one turn. So it's like, I don't know, it's kind of the right play by both players, honestly.
Yeah. I mean,
it always is silly. But
I liked instead of capturing up first with the capstone, I liked playing maybe at d5 first and then making that capture, or capturing over onto d3 instead. And that way that stack wouldn't really have anywhere to run that would be useful. But I do like the d5 play, just continuing on for that horizontal line and making the most of the situation that he's got going on right now. So
b4, very threatening.
yeah, I don't know about that one.
It kind of looks like one of those Jackson Pollocks where you splatter black paint all over the canvas randomly. I mean, b5 is calling out to me, right?
For white? Yeah, that makes sense. d4 makes some sense as well.
Yeah.
I think I would not be surprised to see white drop something like on c3.
If you play c3, you probably just get taken by the capstone.
What do you mean, taken by the capstone? Oh, I meant for white to play at c3. But yes, black to play at c3 is also good. Pluto in the chat saying that he feels like gowellja gets in these situations pretty often.
That means bad situations?
Yeah, I guess so.
Jackson Pollocks?
Well, yeah, this is not a great place to be for white.
I'd be somewhat insulted.
Over if you're white. I mean, like you could place at c3, but you could just try to move on to d4 if you want. I mean, because there's nothing he could do, even if he protects the stack with the wall. Like you could crush that wall still. So
I mean, you could even just bring over just the capstone onto d4.
Yeah, but then if you do that, it gives you less options for the crush afterwards, I think. But you're right, you could.
I think I would just keep placing flats, but
So
you,
you'd play C3 and threaten, or
yeah, C3 or yeah, probably C3, and then expecting some sort of response, follow up with B3. It just feels like you get a bunch of free moves on.
yeah, no, I like C3, but I don't mind moving over with the cap either and just putting the heat on.
Did go for the C3 placement, so there is the tack threat. How will black respond? With the wall, moving the stack yet again. Move the stack again. All right. Now will we see B3 from white?
Probably. In some crazy world, the E3 stack might make a threat on B3.
I like it. I like that. That would be entertaining. I mean, now. No, never mind. I like B3 here for white, and the reason for it is I didn't like D6 as much. I liked B3 more, and the reason
B3
for
is
it.
already covered.
Yeah. What do you mean?
Oh,
Do you
sorry,
mean
A3. I
D3?
meant A3, not B3. My bad.
Oh,
I meant A3. I liked A3 better because it made the connection, allowed for D6 to be played, but then if D6 gets blocked by like a flat or something, then white could capture onto E3 with E2 and then just be able to mess around with that stack. And yeah, it and black wouldn't be able to capture it with their capstone because it would basically lead to a road for white.
This game's starting to get out of hand. I know
Yeah, I think.
Pluto's.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I know Pluto said that gowellja is good at getting out of sticky situations, but this one looks really bad.
I don't really like that move right now, to be honest. Like, this is the move where I would have gone after the stack because you know you're going to win it no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if you wait too long to go after it, there's too much that can happen, and it's not like you need it because the pressure is immense here.
Yeah, for
But I
sure.
don't know. It's just so you got four whites there. I want those, and I like roads.
Yes, see, my point is that that is going to be a weakness forever. So you can let black keep worrying about how they're going to defend it and suffering. Okay, so I guess C6, D6 over, and then you can wall and maybe attack E3.
Hmm.
Or maybe he's going to play E5 left. I mean, they're both pretty sad. Maybe E5 left is better.
Yeah, it's looking really great for white. Black is in a lot of really painful positions right now. and white has basically no liabilities. Yeah, this is looking really good for white and really bad for black.
I wonder if it's time to play wall e5 to try to attack the e3 stack.
Is that where you'd play it? I would have played it at D3.
A d3 makes sense, but I worried that
Just
then
because
you're.
yeah, sorry, what's your reasoning? And I'll tell you mine.
Well, I'm just worried that then the whole stack moving south makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
And your wall on d3 is kind of stuck. If you put it on e5 and you go down, you're still attacking the stack on e2 in one move. I don't know. It's not a good justification. I'm just trying to think like.
Well, now he's threatening the stack on e3. Um, and he'll win the capture war on it unless black does something with that wall now.
Which is very nearly forced.
Yeah.
It's not
Like,
even
because
back though, is it?
like
what's that?
white wants to take e3 with d3, and then he's got attack threat in two directions. Black will come
Yeah,
down
and
with
then
e4 to stop them both, or come over with d2. So I say black needs to move d2 up to d3 now.
oh,
I don't understand that move.
this is gonna be Tinue here really soon. If you get the spread right after you win the stack.
Do you just play f3 here?
No, I would do d3 right.
Yeah, so would I.
Well, e4 minus,
Yeah, and
Well,
then
yeah,
e2 plus.
yeah.
and then you get walled somewhere.
But it doesn't matter though, because you don't care about the wall anyway.
The next wall would drop on d3, right?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's probably still worth it to win the stack.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have to wall the other way, wouldn't you? If you walled D3, it's still game. You could
Yeah.
finish the road.
Yeah, you'd have to
Well,
wall on e4 instead.
You could
Or
finish the road along the E file.
oh, you're right, yeah.
Yeah, so in my mind, even if you wall up there on E4, I don't care. Like I'm just spreading along 3 and whatever, or down. Like not really much you can do.
down doesn't look very good, but left looks pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's just domination no matter what you do.
Okay. He went for that capture first. There's not really much of a difference. I mean, it's still attack threat in two directions regardless, so doesn't really matter which one you use first. It's always going to result in the capture with e4 minus, because it's the only move he's got.
Yeah, I guess in this case, d2 plus looks like it almost works, but it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe this one is slightly sneakier. Ah.
Now, if he doesn't capture this e3 stack with that flat, something wrong.
I mean, if you're like a sadist or something, you could play like e4 or e5. and just say, you know what, the stack is terrible. It still can't move anywhere. I can attack it whenever I want, but it seems a little unnecessary.
What's he doing? What's taking him so long? Okay, there we go. Now he's got to drop on e4, and then there's going to be a spread across that's going to guarantee a win. I think, yeah, I think it's been Tinue for a while. So now if he spreads it just right to the left, he'll be able to
Oh yeah, you're right.
go down on both the E line and on the C or B line. And that's it. Yeah, that's Tinue.
I already said that, rabbit boy.
Yeah, I think it was Tinue. After Black played A5, it was over. It was just capture this stack, and then Black drops a wall, and then you spread across, and then you've got it. So that's the end of the game. Black was in a bad position for like the whole time. So good
he didn't.
game.
You should play 1 E3 minus for the disrespect. Don't play an extra flat.
Yeah, but we don't do disrespect here. This is tack. It's not some heathen game like chess.
I always look for the most ridiculous looking road if there's multiple roads possible.
Yeah.
Anyway. Pluto in the chat says, can't believe gowellja would betray me like that after I complimented him.
Oh man, that was a fun match to watch for sure. Those were some good games. This one was really in favor of white for pretty much the entire time, but that first game was a lot of fun, a lot of back and forth. So well done, folks. A lot of fun to play, and or not play, but watch and commentate and all that stuff. Thanks to Abyss and UnSweet for joining on this day of commentating tack games. Lots of fun to be had there. And be sure to check out the description below for all things tack, specifically the tack Discord, which is where you can find all sorts of people to play with online, whether that be online at playtack.com or on the Discord itself, asynchronously, playing correspondence games with no time limit. You can even play one move a day if you'd like to. So go ahead and check that out. Be sure to check all things tack, which are also in the tack Discord under the FAQ channel. So thanks for watching, and until next time, have a great day and happy tacking.